Tonight, gone in minutes.
The flames, how tall were they? 30, 40 feet above the roof?
A home under construction is destroyed. Here we go again.
It's not just about whether or not we should keep or scrap blanket rezoning. It's more so about how we can continue to grow.
A marathon rezoning hearing continues. And volatile gas prices. Markets swing with developments in the Mideast.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Sean Frenette.
Good evening. A southeast Calgary home under construction is just a shell tonight after fire quickly consumed it. The fire broke out at about 4:40 p.m. on 11th Avenue Southeast in the community of Albert Park, Radisson Heights. Flames shot high into the sky and black smoke was visible from across the city. Firefighters called in a second alarm to get more crews to the scene, but the home was destroyed within minutes. EMS says one person was taken to an urgent care center for minor burns and another was taken to the Peter Lougheed Center in stable condition, suffering from smoke inhalation. Residents say they heard pops and bangs during the fire. Neighbors, plus a dog and cat, evacuated safely. The home appears to be a duplex infill under construction. Neighbors describe what they saw.
I got here about 15 minutes ago and the house was pretty on fire already, but we already had the fire trucks basically on scene.
I come up just as the fire trucks were getting here. And the flames, how tall were they? 30, 40 feet above the roof?
Yep.
Yeah.
And we saw the people leave the house directly, we saw people leave the neighbor's house. So that was probably terrifying for them.
Two neighboring homes also have some damage. No word yet on the cause. It was a rude awakening for residents of an apartment building in northeast Calgary. A powerful explosion and fire early this morning left at least 5 families with no place to live. Kevin Green reports.
Just after 3:30 Monday morning, an explosion rocked this quiet street in Highland Park, setting this 5-unit apartment building on fire.
I was sleeping and I heard a big explosion and our front door was off of its hinges.
The windows all blow out. I don't know, it was like a movie. It just kind of went just very forcefully out.
Her mom was still inside the apartment.
I thought I heard a bang. I don't know what it was. And then I felt like something hit my back. And then all of a sudden, the doors in front of me go flying out.
By the time they made it to the street, the building was burning.
The whole house, 5plex, engulfed in flames within a minute.
At least 3 of the 5 units are gutted, others uninhabitable due to fire, smoke, and water damage.
Kind of really terrifying, not gonna lie, I panicked.
Firefighters remained on the scene throughout the day, knocking down hot spots and investigating the explosion and fire. One person was taken to hospital with smoke inhalation. Everyone else got out safely, but while they're physically fine, that doesn't mean they're all okay.
My son just passed away 4 weeks ago, and so I just picked up all of his belongings and his ashes and everything, and so that's all gone. So I have nothing left of him now.
I lost everything. I have 2 kids. And I'm pregnant, and we lost everything. And so I'm just I think in a state of shock. So I don't really know what to do.
There were at least 2 dogs and 7 cats living in this apartment complex. All of the dogs made it out safely, but none of the cats have been accounted for. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
The cause of that fire remains under investigation. Police say 3 heli-skiers have died after being caught in an avalanche near Terrace, BC. Police say the victims were caught in the slide on Mount Noss yesterday afternoon. One survivor has serious injuries. Also yesterday, one person died in a remote area near the far northwestern BC community of Atlin, near the Alaska border. Helicopter video from the Icefields Parkway is giving us an idea of the massive scale of a controlled avalanche. Parks Canada has been doing avalanche control along the highway, and crews are currently working to clear this massive pile of snow near Mount Hector. The parkway between Lake Louise and Jasper remains closed, and there's no estimated time for reopening. This controlled avalanche sent snow onto the road, covering a 250-meter-long section. It's estimated the snow is up to 12 meters deep in some places. You can check Alberta 511 for updates. Meteorologist Jody Hughes is here with our first look at the weather. And Jody, sunny today, mild, but a change is coming for tomorrow.
Yeah, we do have some warnings that have been issued because of it, some snowfall warnings and winter storm warnings, because we are expecting some more heavy, wet snow in the foothills. For us, it looks like this, where we'll see temperatures dropping down to -4 for the morning. It will feel a few degrees colder than that. And then that likelihood of precipitation of that snow really starts to increase throughout the morning and the afternoon, but you'll see it more so into Banff, and then Lethbridge not quite as high of a likelihood as they are seeing that system move west to east, but a little bit further to the north of Lethbridge in that Crow's Nest Pass area. It is going to be cooler though for a few days and then warming up just in time for the weekend. Details in a minute.
Thank you very much, Jody. The rezoning debate continued tonight at City Hall.
All right, so we are still on the public hearing. We're going to go to panel 9.
Hundreds of Calgarians are speaking to council before councillors decide whether to get rid of the blanket land use rules implemented before the last election. Several citizens made their views known tonight. Some came armed with slide presentations as well. The public hearing will take days. It was just under 2 years ago the same type of marathon meeting was held on blanket rezoning, but it's now a mostly new council, and many have pledged to get rid of the contentious planning bylaw. As Jordan Canagan reports, many are speaking about the impacts on their neighborhoods.
It's a crammed council chambers again, with blanket rezoning back on the agenda.
It's not just about whether or not we should keep or scrap blanket rezoning. It's more so about how we can continue to grow.
And more than 360 people have signed up to weigh in. 2,400 written submissions also coming in. A public hearing will take days.
A lot of people, over 200 people actually, said that they put opposed when really they're saying they're opposed to blanket rezoning, not opposed to the motion to repeal it.
A majority of the feedback so far favors getting rid of blanket rezoning, which was passed less than 2 years ago. They want to see it go back to the old rules.
This whole concept of blanket rezoning lacked any kind of thought behind it. It creates chaos and it creates so many problems.
About 630 projects have moved forward in Calgary since rezoning was passed that would have required individual land use amendments.
We worked very hard to build this all up and whatnot, redo everything and whatnot. All the neighbors have done the same thing and whatnot. And now it's being destroyed.
Arden Conley says a proposed project next door to his property would see an 8-unit complex replace a single-family home.
It destroys it. It destroys the value of the properties.
Rezoning was passed to speed up the process to get more housing supply, including building row homes and townhomes.
I really love this city, and I would really like to continue living here after I graduate university. And I think a major proponent of that is going to be the rezoning for housing.
Council will have to determine whether to go back to square one or make small changes to the bylaw.
Yeah, I think there's a modified targeted change solution here. You know, you'll never have the perfect solution that satisfies everyone.
Jordan Canagan, CTV News, Calgary.
We have reached the halfway point of planned reinforcement work on the Bears Paw South feeder main. The city says work is progressing well. Concrete has been poured at all 9 segments, and once it's cured, backfilling will begin. Calgarians continue to watch their water use. Yesterday, we used 504 million litres, but the city says 5 million was used to refill a portion of the feeder main after a valve was repaired at the Shaganappi pump station. This section will be connected to the water system tomorrow once water quality tests are complete, resulting in some cloudy water.
Yeah, and so the cloudy water is really the turbidity as we bring the pipe back into service. And so there will be a bit of higher turbidity as we bring the pipe back into service. The water is safe to drink, and it will be northern communities. I don't have the exact communities for you, but those in the northern part of the city.
New traffic patterns were supposed to begin tomorrow at 16th Avenue and 44th Street Northwest, but that's been delayed until early next week. The war in the Middle East continues to create volatility for fuel prices. It's creating havoc for investors trying to figure out what happens next. Tyler Barrow has more.
As President Trump says a deal to end the war with Iran may be close, the markets take another big swing. On Monday, Canadian and U.S. markets rose sharply as the positive news gave investors a reason for optimism.
It's going to go in every direction, depending upon the rhetoric, the conversation, and potentially negotiation and agreement at some point in time.
Trump says he will postpone hitting Iran's energy infrastructure for 5 days to allow for negotiations. Investors are watching closely.
Definitely pay attention to it quite a bit. I would say it is a bit concerning.
Very concerning, and I wish I could say I was doing something more active, but honestly, mostly trying not to think about it.
Definitely is affecting my investments. I'm concerned in the short term, but in the longer term, I think it might be beneficial.
As turbulence moves the market up and down and up again, financial experts are telling their clients to consider their timeline and risk tolerance.
Really understand that if you're down 20, 30%, is that comfortable to you given the position that you may have, given what's happening in the market?
While the markets are up, West Texas Intermediate oil dipped below $90 a barrel on Monday. Throughout the city, fuel ranged in price as Gas Buddy had the lowest pegged at $1.49 a litre. Other stations selling for over $1.75. As oil prices fell, drivers should expect gasoline prices to follow.
Come Wednesday, gas prices are going to fall net 14 cents or more a litre. Diesel could fall as much as 19 cents a litre.
Good news for those trying to cut costs.
Trying to avoid road trips as much as possible and just trying to stick around from closer to home and potentially carpooling.
Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
The Alberta Fuel Tax Relief Program is not kicking in. The average oil price in the last month of a quarter must be above $80 US a barrel for tax rates to fall. And take a look at this. Gas prices in Vancouver are significantly higher than Calgary. Some stations are selling gas for $2.189 cents a litre. The lowest price in Vancouver tonight, according to Gas Buddy, is $1.99.9. It's been green space for most of the last decade. Now, this land where homes were destroyed in the 2013 flood is ready for homes again. That story's coming up.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
A group of teenagers faces charges after a string of vehicles were vandalized in the southeast community of Legacy Village. It happened yesterday morning in the 100 block of Legacy Village Way. More than 20 vehicles and buildings were sprayed with pink paint, along with sidewalks and fences. It was a shock and disappointing to people who live in the area.
And from my second story view, I saw the white Suburban with some writing on it. Couldn't figure out what was going on there, and I thought, first of all, it was like, oh, some kids own the vehicle and they're just decorating it, and now you learn otherwise.
3 girls aged 12, 13, and 16 are charged with mischief to property over $5,000. New homes could soon be coming to Roxboro on the site where homes were demolished after the catastrophic 2013 floods. The properties on Roxboro Road Southwest were purchased by the province because they were deemed unsafe to rebuild on. Since then, flood mitigation has changed the risk pattern. The lots are zoned for single-family homes with restrictive covenants and range in price from $1.7 to $3 million. Real estate agents selling the properties say potential buyers should research the opportunity and decide their own risk tolerance.
We expect that there will be a lot of demand for these properties. Waterfront in Calgary is pretty exclusive. There's not a lot of supply of it, so we do expect a lot of demand. In the event that we have multiple offers on these properties, which we do expect, we will set times, at which case the province will be reviewing those offers in a rolling sequence.
The lots are now listed on the multiple listing service. The opposition NDP says the province must stop stalling the Forever Canadian petition. The petition calls for Alberta to remain part of Canada. The NDP says the Alberta Citizen Initiative process should have triggered a legislative committee review in December, but it has taken 3 months to review the proposal, and the committee still hasn't had its first meeting. The NDP says it wrote to the chair of the committee 10 days ago with no response, and it's worried it could end up tabled until the fall.
If this report and the work of the committee isn't completed before the legislature rises in mid-May, it means that the report from this committee is not going to be tabled with the legislature until November. That is after the UCP friends and the separatists get their petition forward and their numbers forward at the beginning of May, and it will be after the Premier's anti-immigration referendums that are going to be held in October.
The Forever Canadian petition collected over 404,000 verified signatures, far exceeding the 293,000 required to trigger legislative action. A protest was held today to push back against the use of artificial intelligence and some of its impacts. The demonstration was held outside City Hall. The group wants to see more restrictions on the size of AI centers, where they can be built, and they want to see more transparency of AI use by governments and corporations.
It uses a lot of water that cannot be portable after it is used due to the chemical processing and cooling of it. There's a lot of electricity use that is used, and obviously data centers are very large. They take up a lot of resources and a lot of land.
I would like the government to implement policies to prioritize human paid labor over excessive use of technology.
An AI data center is proposed on the east side of Olds. The Alberta Utilities Commission rejected the application earlier this month, but the backers are planning to reapply. Jody Hughes will be back here in a moment with her full Skywatch forecast. She's going to tell us about some precipitation on the way tomorrow. Stay with us.
Well, we had a beautiful day today, 7 degrees. More of that snow was able to melt outside of the Calgary area. There's not really a lot left here to melt. And double-digit values for the south part of our province. Lethbridge 13, 10 degrees in Medicine Hat. When you look at those conditions, not a lot to see when we go back over the past few hours. We did have a bit of light precipitation into the northernmost regions, looking at that building cloud in through BC. But what's coming in next will be something to contend with and has prompted a number of weather warnings, including some snowfall warnings and some winter storm warnings into British Columbia. When you look at that measurement of how much snow is left on the ground at the surface, really not a lot in the southeast portion of our province. And that makes sense. We've had such warm values. When we compare our temperature recently to what's coming up over the next few days, it's a bit of a change. We are going to see some precipitation, -1 for tomorrow's daytime high, 2 degrees in Lethbridge, 5 degrees in Medicine Hat. But one slight improvement that we have had, unfortunately not for the best of reasons because we did end up with some slides, is that our avalanche danger map, we're seeing now some areas that are under a moderate risk and a considerable risk. When we were heading into the weekend, we had most of this region under a high risk for that avalanche danger. And that, of course, is one of the reasons why we ended up with some of those slides that we did. We have more snow coming in, so this could change that risk rating as we make our way throughout the middle part of our week. But precipitation coming in from the west, also a big colder air mass that will sink a little further to the south. Where these collide, we're looking at some scattered flurries, some precipitation, heavier amounts in along the foothills, in through British Columbia. It will come with that enhanced instability, and so you're looking at compromised viz as you have that blowing snow, some icier conditions, especially into the higher elevations. Temperature-wise across the region, we'll see cooler values right through in areas mostly north of Lethbridge, including in Cochrane and in Strathmore. And then we will see our recovery as we head into the weekend. 9 degrees for a high on Friday, Saturday looking at 7, and on Sunday we're into those double digits. So -5 overnight for tomorrow and -12 for Wednesday, with those daytime highs improving above freezing once again and then above seasonal by Friday.
Okay, thanks very much, Jody. Some Calgary seniors are sharing their stories through art. A grand opening of a new resident art gallery was held at Generations Calgary in the Northeast. The exhibit features artwork created by more than 60 residents in long or continuing care. It's part of an art therapy program that began a year ago. It aims to improve mental health, connection, and purpose for seniors.
I think music, art, they're all mediums of expressing ourselves without having to use words. Yeah. So I think it allows us a form of expression that we sometimes lose as we age. And so it's been a really positive way to allow individuals who may not be able to articulate to express something they've been feeling or thinking.
The gallery is open to the public until March 31st. Team Canada is getting ready for the World Men's Curling Championships. Still to come, we hear how members of Matt Dunstone's rink are preparing. "120 athletes between the ages of 6 and 50 plus competed in speed, power, and freestyle jump roping events on the weekend in Calgary. The event was a national championships qualifier. It was also a chance to show off precision, speed, and choreographed freestyle routines performed to music. Canada took silver medals at the World Women's Curling Championships last night in Calgary. Now the men are getting ready. Their World Championship gets underway on Friday in Utah. Glenn Campbell has more on Canadian skip Matt Dunstone going to the Worlds for the first time.
Make it go away, and there they go, and he is the Heartbreak Kid no more, Matt Dunstone.
Matt Dunstone's rink was one of the best stories at this year's Brier. Dunstone had never won a Canadian championship. It was emotional, but now he says they've moved on and can hardly wait to wear the maple leaf and represent Canada at the Worlds.
There was a lot of storylines for each of us individually on why representing Canada again would mean a lot to us. And so that's what's going to make this World Championship really special. Not going to take it for granted, obviously. And, Canadian curling's been on a nice little stretch here. And, I'm excited to be a part of that and hopefully continue that run that we've been on.
Like the Women's World, some of the big-name teams won't be there, but the field is still good. And third Colton Lott says no matter who they face, Canada will be ready.
I think for us, it doesn't matter who we play. We're going to go out there, stick to our game plan, stick within the team, and perform at the best that we can.
The Harndens, also known as the Broom Brothers, round out Team Dunstone. For EJ, this will be his last Worlds. He's retiring from competitive curling after this year.
This just feels like it's a bonus. Like there's just, I don't know, a very light, like sort of lightness that I feel and excitement that I feel. And I haven't felt this way in a number of years. And I'm really, really looking forward to literally just getting on the plane and starting this process and this journey with the guys.
And it'll also be special for Ryan, being there with his brother when it's all said and done.
Just very excited. I just love to, obviously EJ being his last, event. It's just going to be special to end it together.
Glenn Campbell, CTV Sports, Calgary.
Canada's first game is against Korea Friday afternoon. Catch all that action, of course, on TSN. Thank you for joining us on this Monday night. Have a great evening.